In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. That reading about Abraham and Isaac is a shocker. Years ago, a thoughtful priest told me he wondered why, if anyone really listened when it was read in church, they didn't get up and walk out in disgust, or at the very least, take some scissors and just cut that story out of the Bible entirely. Maybe you don't have any scissors with you this morning. And maybe you're too polite to walk out of the church. After all, we are well-mannered Episcopalians. But what was or is your reaction to that particular text? It leaves one wondering not only about what kind of father, what kind of human being Abraham could be, but perhaps even more, what kind of God is portrayed in that story. In Abraham's time, human sacrifice was an accepted practice, a way to appease or gain favor with whatever god or goddess was worshipped or feared. So, when God told Abraham to kill his son Isaac as a sacrifice, it might have been an unwelcome message, but Abraham's willingness to obey and actually do it would simply have been in keeping with the culture. As we listen to the story unfold, even though you and I know how it ends, we can't help but be drawn into the drama. I think of young Isaac asking in all innocence where the sacrificial lamb is, certainly having no idea at all that he would be it. He has trust in his father. Do you wonder what was going on in Abraham's mind when he reassured Isaac, but at the same time knew what he's going to do? It's like watching a scene in a movie you have seen many times. The hero stands with his back to the camera as the villain, gun in hand, comes up behind him, and we want to shout, "Look out!" Or in this case, "Abraham, don't do it!" Do you find yourself wondering why that story was ever written? And even more, why it was read to us this morning? One easy answer is it's in the Bible. So let's consider what the Bible is. To begin with, the Bible is not a book. It's a virtual library consisting of many books, all sorts of books. There are myths, a law book, history, poetry, biography, theology, a whole bunch of letters giving practical advice to churches in turmoil. And that's just to name a few. Where does the book of Genesis, and especially today's reading, fit in? When we consider the story we heard, it's important to look beneath the text itself to see what the underlying message is. That is, why the story was written. Through the centuries, both in the Jewish and Christian traditions, the general understanding of scholars has been that the point of the story of Abraham and Isaac is that, unlike the widespread custom of the time, which accepted the ritual sacrificing of human beings, God was calling the Hebrews to condemn that practice. Animals, like the poor ram in today's reading, were another matter. It wasn't until many centuries later that the prophet Hosea comes on the scene and condemns animal sacrifice, having God say, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." We hear the same message spoken on Jesus himself as recorded in St. Matthew's Gospel. Well, I hope this has been helpful regarding Abraham and Isaac and that story. But I'd like to ask you what role, what place the Bible actually has in your life. One possibility would be, if you have a Bible, simply to leave it on a shelf, unread, gathering dust. An opposite, equally sad treatment of the Bible would be to use it as a kind of magic connection with God, a kind of religious Ouija board. I'm reminded of a story about a man who thought that the Bible could give him a message right from God. And every day, he could find out what that message was. So he would close his eyes, open the Bible to wherever it happened to turn up, and then blindly put his finger on it somewhere on the page to get whatever the message was from heaven. And one day, the text his finger pointed to was, Cain killed his brother Abel. That didn't seem to be much of a message for him, so he thought, well, I'll try again. And this time, the text his finger found was, go and do likewise. So neither ignoring nor using it as magic is appreciating the Bible for what it is. Let me share what the Bible is for me. Along with other priests, part of my ministry is reciting the daily office, that is, morning and evening prayer, and that's a lot of Bible reading. Sometimes a particular text will really speak to me in a new way, bringing insight affecting what to do or what not to do in a given situation. But other times, it may be more like sharing with an old, trusted friend, reminding me both of who I am, as well as the family history which provides the values and beliefs for the way I try to live and relate to others. In and through it all, reading the Bible provides a sense of connection. Connection to God, connection to the history of the people of God, and connection to the larger reality within which is daily life as I experience and live it. So that's what it is for me. Now think of it. What is the Bible for you? In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.